At one time on the local level, we had over 10,000 bowlers, and now there are only 2. U.S. Amateur Championship on the line here at the Reno Hilton Lanes. Chris Barnes against our #1 seed, Drew Hylen. Barnes defeating Mike Valero 200-185 in the semifinal match, and Barnes will start in the championship. On lane 29, starts with a strike.
See that 10 go out? He's one of the players that can arc roll it, get it to roll up and knock that 10 out as well as anybody in the game of bowling.
All right, maybe our first look for many people, many bowling fans, Fred, at Drew Hylen, 29 years old. Hometown Denver, a product of Nebraska.
Got a nice game. Very solid game.
Very impressive here all week. And he starts with the strike.
He's using one of the first generation reactive resin bowling balls, and the ball went real long. As you know, Bobby used the same ball all week.
All
and
week
you can
long.
see right in the middle of the lane here, where most people's ball would start snapping right there, his ball just keeps rolling and stays right on line.
Yep, this ball the entire tournament. Second frame for Hylen.
There's the thing you give away using a ball that goes long, because it goes a little long, it's going to leave a soft 10. But what happened, he kept it in the pocket all week. He hit the pocket as good as anybody here. He could keep it right in the pocket. And as you see here, this shot, it just keeps revving, but it's not hooking. It doesn't quite turn over, and it just flattens out and leaves a soft 10.
Interesting you bring that up, hitting the pocket, because he says that was his goal this week, hit the pocket, make my spares, and that's why he's #1.
Exactly. There's Ben Palumbo, the president of the ABC. Boy, what a good man he is from Buffalo.
All right, Barnes with a strike in the first. 7 strikes in the semifinal match over Mike Valero.
Keeps edging the left. He keeps moving left. He's playing that 4th arrow now. He's in nearly the 4th arrow. He's opening the lane up now. If he gets opening up, it'll be a match will be over. If he can open it up and carry it.
There it is.
He's at his best when he does
Yeah.
that. There's nobody in the world that can do it any better than this man. When he gets that feeling, you got to stand back and watch.
Just watch.
Because the ball game's over.
Yeah.
If he can get that feeling a couple more frames, he'll shoot 240, 250.
Just sit back and enjoy it. He's up by 10 after 2. You know, he seems to be taking a bit more time than usual, too.
Yeah. Joyce Deitch, I'll tell you what a bright lady, what a great leader. I'll tell you, she was our president when USA Bowling started. I've learned to really respect this woman. She's tremendous.
Looking for his 3rd in a row.
You got a break there. That's the 2-8-10 zone. When you throw it out there and it got it back for the 2. Now he feels real good about that. He threw it a little wide. Now he knows it'll come back. That'll even loosen him up more for the future frames coming down the stretch.
Barnes has been in the last 3 now, including this match tonight, the last 3 amateur championship matches.
Yeah, you know, he's played all these great
Yeah.
players. You know, it's hard to win on, and he feels, well, you know, what do I have to do? And his TV record hasn't been real good. He says, Coach, what do I got to do? He asked me last night to play better on TV. I said, just don't try too hard. Just go out and do what you do.
Interesting.
He gets real intense, and he's learning to control. He's getting better and better. Working with Dr. Eric Glasser, our sports psychologist, is getting better to handle it. But to learn Chris Barnes' way of playing. See, that was a result of the soft 10. Now, he knew his ball was soft 10, so now he tried to get it in the front door instead of swinging into the back door, so he put it a little straighter on line. Ball flipped over just a little bit right in the nose. That's this condition this week. That's why 205 average this week was tremendous.
I get the feeling, Fred, you're going to enjoy having this fellow on your team.
Yeah. Nice spare. That's a difficult spare on this condition this week with that little oil pattern out to the right.
There's our U.S. Amateur champion on the women's team, Linda Nori Adams.
You know, she'll represent the United States down at Georgia Tech during the Olympics here in '96, and the winner of this match
Right.
will also represent our nation. We'll have 12 countries down there playing in front of the whole Olympic picture, and hopefully that'll be what it takes to put us over the hump and get us into the year 2000 in Sydney.
So that's on the line right here tonight, too. Hylen at strike in the fourth. So Hylen hanging right with Chris Barnes in our championship match. Barnes leading by 12. We'll be right back.
That's pass. That's water under the bridge.
Let's see the response from Hylen. Oh, he got it to go.
Carried the wall shot. The great Dick Weber could carry that wall shot as good as anybody. See his ball again. It didn't hook. If it would have hooked, he'd have left a soft 10 right here. See, it kept going by the pocket. Now, if it had turned right here, it would have been a soft 10, but it just kept going by, carried him off the wall.
And Hylen now up by 12.
It's a high-energy player. I'll tell you, he was very popular all week. You know, I'd like to take a moment now to thank Butch Whitman for a great job of conducting this tournament this week. Chris Alderucci, our statistician. Chris, thank you for being all year with Team USA.
How about that double from Drew Hylen as he trips out the 10?
22-pin match now. This is almost getting to a point where Chris has got to throw a strike here. He's got to get back in the match, but this is a difficult lane condition. This match is far from over.
And on this lane, he has 2 strikes in a row. There's another.
This can't be any better than that. He focused right back up. Okay, now, Chris, he's got to go back over there, put the heat back on him. We love to see the great players make each other play at the highest level, which only great players can do in the heat of the battle under the lights. It's fun to watch, isn't it, Bob?
It really is.
We all know how hard it is to throw a double in league play on Tuesday night bowling with our friends.
He's still talking to himself. Barnes down 22. This is the 7th. A double for Barnes. All right, the stage is set for Barnes and Hylen. Sportsman. Let's take a look round by round, Fred, of how things developed here this week at the Reno Hilton Lanes. David Berman led through the first 2 rounds, then Bruce Stefani, Mike Polero, 4th and 5th, and then, of course, our leader is Drew Hylen. And here's our top 3, Hylen, Polero, Barnes. Look at Barnes. From 23 and ended up number 3. Of course, here's what they're rolling for, the trophy, which will go to the U.S. Amateur Champion.
Isn't that beautiful? You set that in your home and look at that for years to come. It'd be a nice memento of some great time.
Well, it's interesting how this is developing now, Fred. We've got Barnes with 2 in a row. We've got Hylen with 3 in a row. And Hylen leads by 12.
Big shot right here.
7th frame. And another one for Hylen. That's 4 in a row.
I'll tell you, it doesn't get any better. This guy stays right in position. He's got a big push away. If you notice here, he's got a big push away. Pushes it up, but he takes his time. You can have a big push away if you take your time. Now he sits right down on the shot, stays right down in, great knee bend, lays it down clean, and the arm just comes right through, right toe on the floor. Perfect profile at the foul line.
He leads by 22. A great story from Drew Hylen at the state championships, the Colorado State Championships. He says he nearly quit after the first day.
Yeah.
He wasn't bowling well. He didn't like the lane conditions. He nearly just walked out.
And I'm sure Bill Straub on every shot. Wow, what a bad break that was. He threw a great shot there.
Yeah, he says Bill Straub, he owes him everything.
Well, Bill's a real taskmaster with his players. He has a wealth of experience from playing the tour himself. He lends a lot of discipline and working on the sound, basic fundamentals. He does a great job. Collegiate program in this nation. Yeah. Just all this man's got to do for the next 2 frames is keep it on the lane, and he's a national amateur champion. I'll tell you what, Chris Barnes, 3 times in a row he's finished 2nd. he'll have a hard time dealing with it again.
I was going to ask you, you know him just as well as anyone. How's he going to handle that?
Yeah, he'll have to talk to himself. We'll get the Doc Lasser, and we'll surround him, and we'll pull him out of it here. We'll give him 15 minutes, but it'll take a good 15 days. It'll take him 2, 3, 4 weeks to get over another brutal loss to him here. But I'll tell you what, he's got a lot of bowling ahead of him in his lifetime. You know, if you go out and finish second every tournament you ever play in your life, you'll have a pretty nice career when you're done.
You sure will.
A lot of people don't realize, but Earl's got more seconds than he's got firsts, and he's got 40-some wins. So you got to get there a lot of times to give yourself a chance to win.
Yeah, on a one-game match, let's face it.
Yeah, anything can happen.
Anything happens.
This man led by 100 pins. Drew outplayed the field this week. You know, Chris has not been real sharp on his game. He'll admit that he don't feel real sharp with his game right now. And, you know, you work on your game, but the real sharp play, who knows why you do that and why you don't do that. All you do is put forth the effort, and the results
He's looking up at the scoreboard. Look, and now he knows it. Now he knows it. Drew Hylen, 29 years old, from Denver, a product of the program at Nebraska.
A very emotional player all week. A couple times I thought, wow, this guy has really got to suck some breath into those lungs and get himself calmed down. As intense as he is, when he puts the ball in his hand and starts walking the foul line, the man makes clean shots. He is much like Marshall Holman when Marshall was young. The only difference between he and Marshall is this guy collects himself. Marshall gets a little mad.
Comparison.
You know, yes, but their energy level is much the same.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, Fred, he's a big believer in visualization. And he told me a month ago he visualized himself in this place, winning the championship.
That's the way you do it. You have to win many times when you're practicing before you can do it for real.
He has a 219 in this final game, and he's our winner.
Chris is very dejected, obviously, but I'll tell you, he'll bounce back. This kid's bright. He's really been very difficult and hard on himself, and he'll be a little hard on himself, but now I see it getting less and less and less. And so as that happens, I just hope that he comes back again and plays this year and then comes back in '97 and gets this thing before he goes on to turn professional, because he's thought about that.
Just think of the accomplishment of making 3 consecutive Team USA.
Unbelievable.
Sure it is. Sure. With the competition out there now.
Well, that's nearly 50,000 people that try to make it. And you're second. So he should be proud.
You better believe it.
Yeah, he should be very proud.
And he congratulates our 1995 National Amateur Champion. A standing ovation for Drew Hylen of Denver, Colorado. The final score, 219, 191. Hylen, the winner. He came in as our #1 seed, and he walks out as our champ. So it's Drew Hylen for the men, and Linda Nori Adams, our women's champion. We'll be back in just a moment to meet our men's amateur champion. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, your men's amateur champion, Drew Hylen from Denver, Colorado. Drew, well done. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been an incredible week. I got to thank everybody here at the Reno Hilton. The crowd's been great, and the camaraderie between the bowlers, it was fantastic, and everybody was just fantastic. I don't know what to say.
I don't know if you have room. I bet you do, though, Drew, for that the nice trophy that Elaine Hagan wants to give you.
Most definitely.
Drew, it is a pleasure for me to be able to present this trophy, which is indicative of you now being named the titleist of the 1995 U.S. National Amateur Championship. On behalf of the USA Bowling Board of Trustees, congratulations for a fine job.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Drew, tell all of us, please, the fact that a month ago you saw yourself standing right here.
About a month ago when the state championship